right, so let's go ahead and get started now. So, as you probably know, if you're following us anywhere, we talk about rebrands 24/7 because it is like the bread and butter of what we do here at Inkpot. And truly having a strategic and custom brand and website can help you stand out in your market and really show like what makes you unique and what makes you different. That's why we're always like, oh, you need color. You can be like you can be personality forward. It's because it's something we truly, truly believe in. But we also see a lot of things floating around on the internet about rebrands that we personally think are not 100% true. So that's actually what we're going to be talking about today. We're just going to be busting three myths that we see all the time. And of course, we are also doing a giveaway. So if you do stick around until the end, we'll be giving away a free brand audit. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So today, again, we'll just be breaking down the top myths about rebranding that you should know.
Okay, so myth number one that we see all the time is that rebrands are only for big businesses. And it's either that or rebrands are only for people who are like, quote unquote, like trying too hard. And the reality is, having a solid brand presence is not something that's like too much. And it's not something that's, not essential or something that's only for, these million, billion dollar corporations. It is something that literally every business needs. So, yes, a lot of these bigger businesses do rebrands, but that is because they are strategically doing them to help elevate their business. And I think that's a big thing when we look at like small versus businesses versus big businesses. We're like, what can we learn from them and take from them, but still kind of adjust because obviously it's going to be a little bit different. And, we're not going to market the same exact way or do, X, Y, and Z the same way. But doing a rebrand is what's going to help you align your business. So it's going to help you align it more with who you are, who you want to be. So like where you want to see yourself in like a year, 3 years, 5 years, all of that stuff, who you want to serve. It's not too much. It's literally creating a space for you where you want to stand out in a market that, let's be honest, is probably filled with other people who are doing the exact same thing. If we're looking at photographers, there's thousands of photographers who are taking photos, but like, what is it about you that makes you different, makes you special? And your brand is what can help you kind of stand in that and stand out and kind of lean into all of that within your business, within your marketing, with how you communicate with clients, all of these things. So it helps you kind of step into that personality instead of trying to show up as someone that you're not. Your rebrand can really help you highlight who you are as a person, who you actually want to show up as day in and day out, like who you want to work with, all of those things. It's really when we're looking at these big businesses that are like, okay, well, yeah, of course they're going to rebrand. They are rebranding because there's some shift in their business. They're either trying to shift into a new market, they're trying to attract a different clientele. We've seen a lot of businesses kind of shift in even their visuals, trying to attract more Gen Z customers. And that is goes to show that it's not just like, hey, we're a big business, we're going to rebrand. They're rebranding strategically because they want to make sure that where their brand is, how they're showing up, is aligning with how they actually want to show up, the clients they want to attract, where they see their business going. The same thing applies to every other business. Like we rebranded last year because where our brand wasn't where we saw it going in the long term. It didn't match the level of work that we were doing. It didn't match the people that we wanted to work with, all of that, right? So it's not something that's just for big businesses. We see big businesses doing it because it is a strategic move to make sure that you're aligned with where you actually want to be. And like that's the thing there. It's not trying too hard. It's literally just being smart with your business and having a strategy and being able to kind of draw things in and pull people in that you actually want to work with and market in a way that feels really comfortable and confident to you because you're like, yes, this is how I want to show up. This is who I want to work with. I'm proud of this. I want people to see it. So I'm not embarrassed to send them to my website or I don't, have trouble showing up on social media because I actually know what I want to look like.
That's why too, one of the top things we always, always ask when we're rebranding is like, where do you want to be in the next year, the next 3 years, the next 5 years? And I know it's so hard to think about that. Like, even when we rebranded ourselves, I was like, okay, now I understand how our clients feel because these questions are so hard to answer, but it can help because then you can also make sure you're not having to rebrand, all the time. You're not having to make all these changes all the time and you're really making sure you're doing it with a purpose. Next is that rebranding means starting from scratch. And this is one that we've actually seen come up a lot in the last year. And we often always get asked, like, okay, well, what if I absolutely love this font that I have in my current brand, or I'm absolutely obsessed with this color? Like, I am known for this color. I do not want to get rid of this color. That's amazing. Just because you're rebranding does not mean that you need to throw it all away and completely start over. So if there are things that you love about your brand and you still feel like they match where your business is right now and where you want to go, you can still incorporate parts of your old brand with your new one. This is something that we do all the time with our clients. We had one client who absolutely loved this one font from their old brand suite, so we kept it. We had another client who absolutely loved one shade of a color, and we kept it. We might have tweaked it slightly just so that it fit in with the new colors, but there is a way to kind of bridge the gap between where you are now and where you're going, and that can also help with that. It might mean keeping the exact element that you absolutely love, or it could mean recreating it into something new that matches the rest of your brand. So with our rebrand, for example, we obviously updated all of our visuals, but we ended up keeping a lot of the colors we already had. So we had been using the rainbow color palette for a very long time. I think since like I started Inkpot in 2020, we've always been rainbow, and it still felt very, very aligned with where we wanted to go. We did make some slight tweaks to the colors. We balanced out the color palette a little bit more, but we were able to build a new brand with that same color palette. And that's why when we rebranded, people were like, oh, it's literally still Inkpot, just different, right? Like it still felt connected. Or maybe you are an elopement photographer who does a lot of adventure elopements. So you like the idea of having something that represents the area that you photograph in. This can be something like a Joshua tree if you're out in, Nevada like we are, or even California. So maybe you have a version of a Joshua tree in your brand right now and you want to keep that, but it's, a really generic icon that you found online or something that doesn't quite match the new vibe. We can literally take that and create like a new hand-drawn illustration of a Joshua tree that matches the rest of your brand so that everything can stay consistent while still keeping that element that you love. And again, that's a really good way too, that when you rebrand, you're not going to be like jump scaring your audience because it's like completely different. You're really helping to kind of bridge that gap. And people are like, oh, like it's still you, but different.
And that's the other thing that we hear all the time. People are like, are people going to recognize that this is my business? Like, yes, people are going to know that it's the same business. And like, it can feel a little scary. Someone said, can we normalize how freaking terrifying rebranding can feel, but owning that longer term goal by committing to the change is so worth it. And like, it's so true. And that really nails it on the head because it can feel scary. You are making this big change, but that change is going to have a domino effect of if you do it right, a positive effect of being able to show up better, committing to that, being like, this is where I see my business going. This is who I want to step into. Like, this is the next phase for me. If we're staying in the same spot all the time, we're not growing. We're not getting better. We're not, reaching new goals. And it doesn't have to mean like, I want to rebrand because I now want to go from making, $60,000 a year to like 120. Like that's not really what we're saying here, but it's being able to show up more confidently in your own business and feel like you actually like your business and you're like, I like to show up. I like to market. I like to talk to clients because I'm talking to clients that actually mesh with me and like vibe with me. And they're the people that I actually want to work with. But yeah, we hear all the time, like, are people going to know that it's me? People will know that it's you. People will understand that you're just updating your visuals. We said it before. Big businesses update their brands and rebrand all the time. They change things, they add more colors. When Instagram went from the, old OG camera icon to the new, illustrated icon, people weren't like, what is this app? They were like, oh, Instagram updated. That's it. Like, even you can even take name changes. Did everyone stop recognizing that HBO Max was the same because they changed it to Max? And like, it's kind of funny that they're going back to HBO Max now, but like, regardless, you weren't just like, oh, what is Max? You're like, no, that's HBO Max. I don't know why they changed the name, but that's what like people recognize it. So you're not gonna like just completely alienate your audience and they're gonna be like, oh, this brand disappeared because you got a rebrand. But you can also kind of mitigate anything like that with, like KP said, having different elements that kind of tie over. Or we love kind of teasing things as you're getting ready to launch it. So like almost prime your audience for the fact that something is going to change. You're going to have new brand elements. You're going to have, different things. You can show off little pieces of it. You can talk about, the background of like, hey, I'm going through this. I'm super excited. I can't wait to show this off. Tease one element at a time, a new logo, a new color, or anything like that, so that they kind of understand that that's what it is and people can see that. But we have not had a client who's come back to us and been like, people don't know that this is the same business anymore after I rebranded. Like, People understand it. You see it all the time, and you recognize that it's the same brand. So your clients will do the absolute same. The third thing that we see is people wanting to wait until their off season to fix their brand and website. Whether they're like, maybe I just need a little more time to do this. I'm going to wait until my off season. But the reality is, waiting until the off season doesn't really do much for you because one, is there really an off season in business? Like for most of us, there's always going to be something else that we can be doing and something else that's taking our attention. I don't know the last time we had a off season. Like because even when things start to slow down or you have a little bit of a break, there's probably other things that you're filling that time with. So it's not just like, oh, I have 3 weeks where I'm doing absolutely nothing. Let me do this. You still have so many other things that you're doing, right? So when you are thinking about this, there is no perfect time. There's no perfect time for anything in life. Let's be real. There's no perfect time for doing this rebrand. There's no like, oh, let me just wait until all of these stars align and then we can go. And the reality is your clients are not waiting for the perfect time to book their photographer. They're looking now. They're like, I need a photographer. Let me see who it is. I want to get this done. So don't wait until you think you're going to find the perfect moment because it's probably never actually going to come. Once you're like, okay, I'm ready for this. I know that something's wrong. I know that I need to change some things. Let's dive into it, dedicate the time to it. And I promise it's going to pay off and it's going to help you show up in your business better and more confidently. And realistically, when you're thinking about it too, your brand and your website is what is working for you during your busy season. So when you're out shooting all of these weddings, when you're out capturing all of these moments, whatever it is, your brand and website is going to be attracting clients just like the ones that you're with. So those clients that you love, your brand and website is going to be working to attract more of those to continue to fill your schedule with dream people, right? So if you wait, you're just delaying that opportunity to connect with people as much as you could on that deeper level, pull in the people that you actually want to work with, step into that new market, whatever it might be that you're looking to do. So you're not really doing yourself that much of a service by delaying or being like, I want to wait until this month to do it when you can do it now and it'll, start working for you. And on that same thought, if we're going a bit deeper, even into like SEO, the sooner you can optimize your site, the sooner you can get keywords out there, all of that stuff. Like we make sure on our end, like we're adding keywords to every single page. Everything is getting optimized on the back end so that you get that green check from Google on the SEO front and your stuff can start to rank. The sooner you can get that stuff out there, the sooner Google can pick it up and start to kind of fit you in where it's going to fit you in the rankings. So if you know anything about us, we talk about SEO, we talk about blogging, we talk about how it is a long-term thing. Like we never shut up about it. And you know what? Not going to apologize. It's one of our favorite things to talk about. So we're going to continue to talk about it. But it is a long-term game. So if you wait another 6 to 8 months to do a rebrand, if you know you're ready to do a rebrand now, but you're like, I'm going to push it off until then, all of that stuff that can be put on your site, all of those keywords, all the optimization, all the blog posts that you could have written, they all are going to delay another 6 months before they actually get published. So instead of working for you now, we're going to wait another 6 to 8 months and we're going to lose all of that time that they could have been, settling in the rankings in Google. You could, if you have it now, you could see things start to rank in 6 months and instead we're just starting now. So you're kind of losing out on that bit a little bit when we're looking at some of the more long-term things. It is something where if we're, thinking about that, the sooner we get it out there, the sooner it can start to rank, the sooner it can start to get picked up, the sooner you can start to connect with your dream clients. All of those things are so, so important. And it's going to make your business feel more connected to who you actually want to be, where you want to see it. The more, like, I'm sure when you have a month full of clients that you're just like, I absolutely love this. These are my dream clients. Like, I cannot wait to like go to this wedding or go to this session. It makes you want to be in your business more. And when you maybe book that client that you're like, it was okay, that's not really where I see my business going. It feels a little more draining, right? So if we can get everything out there, you can start attracting those clients. It's just going to make your business so much more enjoyable. And when we're actually actually breaking it down and thinking about it, I promise you, doing a rebrand is not actually that much of a time commitment as you may think it is. There are some things that are going to take some time, and we're not going to deny that. Getting your copy together, getting your photos together can take some time. And like, we always are very upfront with that of like, look, it's going to take a minute. Make sure you're thinking about that and you give it the time that it deserves. But for us, our process is 4 weeks. Once we start the brand and web design process, you have like a handful of hours across 4 weeks that you actually have to be available to like give feedback. And by the end of that, your site is ready. So it's not like this is a full-time job of, working with a designer. You're going to be spending 20 hours a week for 4 weeks doing this. It's a couple of hours here and there, and then everything is ready for you. So it's not as intimidating and scary as you might think it is. It is a big step, which can feel scary in your business of like taking this next step, moving in a different direction, stepping into a higher market, whatever it might be. But we're here for you along the way. We're not afraid to hold some hands. We love being there to support you. We know that it can be a little overwhelming, especially if it's the first time that you've ever done it. Believe me, we're in this day in and day out, so we totally get it. But it is something that's totally doable. It's something that's not going to be, you know, something that feels insurmountable. It's People do it every single day, and I promise you, once you get started in the process, you get excited about it. You're excited to see all the drafts. You're excited to like have this new kind of era in your business and like step into that, and it becomes something that you're really excited to do every single day instead of like, oh, let me just check this one more thing off my list. And then you get a brand and a website that you're really confident in. It shows off who you are, it shows your personality, it shows what makes you different, it attracts the type of clients that you want to attract, and it kind of checks all the boxes off that you want checked off in your business. So it's a win-win.
All right. So that was actually all of our points, but yeah, so I think that was it. But if anyone has any other questions about rebranding or anything, you can feel free to drop them or like send us a DM. We are always available. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you can leave a comment on YouTube. We're also always checking our comments on there. But thank you so much for joining us today. We do have our giveaway. So if you are still here right now, you do have the option to win a free brand audit. To win that, you can just go ahead and drop an emoji in the comments, and we will go ahead and choose someone by the end of the day today. We'll just be using like a random generator just to choose, and we will literally just be like auditing your brand and your website for you and just giving you some different ideas of what we feel like could potentially be better or different. And if you are sitting here thinking, yes, it's absolutely time for me to stop blending in, that is literally what we're here for. Like our whole slogan at Inkpot Creative is literally designed differently. Like that is what we're here for. So we do have our service, the Rebrand Edit, which is a full rebrand service for photographers who refuse to be generic. They don't want to blend in anymore. We specialize in building bold, personality-backed brands and websites that actually feel like you and break through the noise online, because our goal is for when couples or clients open up a whole bunch of tabs, which we all do, we go to Google, we search something, we open up like a bajillion tabs and we look through all of them and they compare everything. We want your photography site to be the one that stands out the most. You can learn more about that at the link in the show notes if you're watching on YouTube, or at the link in our bio if you are watching on Instagram. But that was everything. We will be back again next week. We're trying to do this like every Friday just for a little bit, just because we don't really do anything else on Fridays, and this has kind of been fun. So we'll catch you next Friday, and we'll definitely post about it too, just so that you know what is coming up. But thank you so much for joining us today.